All right, guys, welcome to Follow Up Boss Office Hour. Going to be diving into running team trainings on Follow Up Boss for your team, company. Sometimes use the word company if you're a brokerage, like we get it. Team, it's a group of people. I'm really excited to have April Stevens with me today. April, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Lee?
I'm great. I'm really excited to
Good.
dive in.
Happy to be here.
Good. And one thing, I'd love for you to give a little bit of your background and also what you currently do. You're on the Follow Up Boss Success team. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do now and what you did before?
Sure. Right. Well, I'm on the Follow Up Boss Success team. Like Lee said, we help you onboard, get used to using Follow Up Boss, make sure your imports are in, make sure you're set up for success. We give you some best tips and tactics for how to train your team. We actually will hold a team training for you. And then we also like to hang around after so that you work with the same person that teaches you how to use Follow Up Boss. And then, on down the road, we continue to make sure we check in on you, make sure your Follow Up Boss is going well, that you're still up and running efficiently, and that it's helping you close more deals. Like that's the whole goal, right? So we just want to be sure we're there for you as a resource to always make sure that you feel comfortable with where you're at with your Follow Up Boss account. So that's what I do now. Absolutely love it. We have a great team. As most people who are watching know, they have a success manager, and we absolutely love helping you guys close more deals. So don't ever hesitate to reach out to us. In my past, I started using Follow Up Boss in 2018 with Preston Guyton's team. I don't know if Preston's on or not, but if he is, hey, Preston. And he was a big early adopter of Follow Up Boss. So a lot of thanks to him for introducing me to the program, and I fell in love with it. So after that, I use it as an ISA at Preston's office and also as a realtor. And then after that, I joined a team. We implemented Follow Up Boss there. And then I've also used it just on my own. So I have a lot of different experience with Follow Up Boss and obviously being a realtor. So I feel like I bring a lot to the success team as far as real world scenarios on how to kind of set it up to best optimize your specific goals. So I've been loving working at Follow Up Boss so far. Like I said, I fell in love with it, and I've worked really hard to get a position at Follow Up Boss. So happy to be there.
That's amazing. I love that. I love that you bring that depth of experience doing it with people and you know the platform so well. So it's really cool. So we're excited to dive in. My name is Lee Adkins. I'm the head of growth at Amplified Solutions, which is also a company focused on Follow Up Boss and operational use of the platform. Some of my background that I don't always get into is I've basically held every role in the business, from a solo agent to a team member, run operations for a team, been a partner in a brokerage, definitely sat in all the seats, but really focus. April, part of what I'm really excited about in this session is that you and I have both done this. We've sat down with people, we've worked with groups of people to execute better trainings for their team. So we're going to cover today, and we do have a document we're going to share out at the end with everybody, actually two. But we're going to cover today tips for creating great CRM training sessions, how to find exactly the right amount of stuff to cover, because as much as we want to have one session and wave a wand and magically get everybody trained, sometimes it doesn't work that way. And also just how to have an overall strategy for long-term training and retention. Stuff changes, features change, you add more tools. So, just sticking around that. And I'll share that doc here in just a minute, but April, at a high level, like, what do you think, what are the really high level things around, training your team to use the Follow Up Boss system?
Yeah, I think it's agent adoption, getting them really excited about Follow Up Boss, going into it really upbeat and excited, like this is what I'm bringing to us as an invaluable resource for our team. And just getting that passion going, like this is going to save you time and make you more money. If you go into that kind of selling it to your team from the beginning and not just saying, this is our new CRM, this is what we're using, you know what I mean? Like say, this is Follow Up Boss, excited about it. It's going to help us grow our business. And these are our great success managers that are here to help us. We've got Lee, we've got all these resources that are always here, so you don't feel alone and they don't feel overwhelmed. Also, just focusing on little bits of information at a time, so to not overwhelm. Those are, I think, the keys to getting people excited about using it.
That's awesome. That's so true. I think too many people do approach this from like, oh, it's another thing. We have to do this, but it's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always say, it's a what's in it for me, right? Like nobody got in this business to sit at a computer and type names into a database. Like we know that
Right.
that's not why they want to do this, but demonstrating, demonstrating that using this can, double your business or make your life better or allow you to go on vacation and someone else can check the system and say, oh, look, so-and-so reached out, but I can handle it because there's great notes,
Right.
to do that. So
Right.
I'm going to share my screen back real quick. There are a couple different docs I'm toggling through here, and we are going to share this document out with everybody at the end. But we wanted to provide you guys with a document today with some of our bullet points. April and I are going to cover at a high level some of our experience in some of these bullets, but we really wanted you guys to have something to run with after this. There's also a link in here to some actual slides that you guys use that we're going to share.
Yeah, very valuable stuff I think we're handing out today. So definitely use it for your team trainings.
Awesome. So let's start with tips for creating great sessions. Like you got to have a plan, right? And it doesn't even need to be a deep plan. Just like, hey, tomorrow we're going to do smart lists and we're going to focus on smart lists and tomorrow's about smart lists. But I've seen so many people just show up and they're kind of like, all right, do you guys have any questions or whatever?
Right.
So I'm a big
either you get no questions. Yeah.
Right.
Either you get no questions or way too many questions.
You get all the questions.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm also a big fan of having a consistent format. I don't think it matters even what the format is, to be honest with you. Did you have do you guys have kind of a format to your sessions, April?
At Follow Up Boss, yes. We definitely have a format that we use. We make sure that we cover just enough for the team to get up and going. Like I said, we don't ever want to overwhelm anyone. We definitely like to focus on smart lists very heavily because that's what gets the most bang for your buck, right? And we always go over and over the two most important things you have to do in Follow Up Boss: log communication, change stages. As long as you're doing those two things and your smart list work, they're successful. So you just got to focus on the little things. If you can get that across, then it helps a lot.
Totally. No, that's great. And I think, also setting that cultural thing of starting and ending on time, but also being available afterwards. I think having shorter sessions where there's the ability to stay one-on-one or one-on-four or whatever after the session, it's going to pay you dividends, right? Because somebody has a question or somebody has a PC and somebody has a Mac or somebody has an Android, and there's always nuance. And there's nothing worse than talking about one specific thing that's relevant to one person while 15 other people who it's not relevant to
have to sit there and wait, twiddling their thumbs, and they start minds wandering. That happens a lot on our Follow Up Boss team trainings, especially with a big team. We'll have 15, 30 people all on one screen, and someone will ask a specific question. And sometimes we have to say, we'll definitely get to that, stay on at the end, or let's async later on this. But yeah, you got to kind of keep the flow going.
Totally. And so, I think just I see too many people like set an appointment after, like, okay, good meeting, I got to go to a listing appointment. It's like, no, this is the time to really tackle that. I also, something we went through in creating this document too, is talking a little more about meetings versus trainings. It's an interesting kind of dichotomy. I mean, I love team meetings, but I think having specific training sessions is going to be, especially if you're not doing them to start, is I think a lot better. And then maybe once you get to the point where it is maintenance, maybe every meeting you have like a 5-minute training, but.
Exactly. Yeah, I like that. Because every time going in, that can kind of wear you down. Like, this is going to be a meeting today, but next month we're going to have a training session in our meeting. That way they can go into it knowing I'm going to learn some stuff and I've got to pay attention.
Right. Absolutely. And to that point, I wanted to make a note about having guests, because a lot of times people will have a lender or a vendor or somebody come to like a team meeting.
Right.
And that's great. But
bring some donuts.
Generally derails any sort of training focus. So I personally really recommend not starting out with, hey, we're training today, and here's the topic. Right. So, and then,
totally agree.
And then one of the other things that I always like to do and always struggled with, I didn't struggle with it, but struggled with getting it right, is demonstrating first. like, oh, what's a smart
Yeah.
list? Let me show you what's a smart list. And then now we're going to dig in where you can look at your smart list. But I'm a big fan of demonstrating it first and like not having them on their computers, because the minute they're on their computer trying to do something, they get an email or a notification and they're gone.
Yes.
You know,
Or they're trying to do it while you're showing it, but they're looking at their screen and they're not quite where you are. And then they're like, what did you just do?
right.
And you're like,
Right. 20 minutes later, you're starting over again.
Exactly.
But to your point, what you made earlier, April, too, I think by the same token, both having a format, but saying this at the beginning, hey, I'm going to run this down and then we're going to open your computers. What I used to do is I would demonstrate it on a big screen. And then I'd say, okay, great, everybody, open up your computer, log in, start trying it. And then I would just walk around the room and people would have questions or they'd raise their hand. I'd walk over here and, oh, that's a good point. Everybody needs to know that.
And you can check in. How are you doing? How are you getting this? Making sure everyone's on the same page.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then you also can kind of see that difference of like, oh, right, this person's on a PC or this person's trying to do the same thing on their phone, but smart lists don't look the same on a phone. So let's get you on a computer and then we'll talk about phone, next.
So true. Very true.
So and then let's see, follow up. Oh, I'm a big fan of this too. I love to send out follow-up after the session.
Yeah, we do that all the time at Follow Up Boss. We take really good notes during the call. And as soon as the call's over, we get those notes over, mainly so I don't forget what we talked about. B, so I can make myself to-dos. So you can make your to-dos. I always call them honey-do lists. I said, after a call, I'm going to send you a quick honey-do list and the recording of today's call. It's so valuable to recap everything you said to kind of solidify it, put it in your brain, and then you have an action plan. What's going forward? What's my next steps? Here are your next steps. It's so valuable.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. I mean, I think getting in the habit of always doing that. And ideally, if you can include some sort of either on demand or like you said, recording of the session. And the Follow Boss YouTube channel has a ton of things like that. So you could even, if you are really new to this, you could even play one of the Follow Up Boss videos on the big screen before you start. Yeah. And then help people do that. So it's not always about you creating everything.
Yeah. And you don't have to feel overwhelmed if you're not a pro yourself. We have tons of resources, and I'll plug our brand new Follow Up Boss 20-minute bootcamp webinar. It is amazing. Such a good refresher. It covers smart lists. It just is a general overview for new teams or teams that have been using Follow Up Boss for a while, but maybe haven't been finding that it is as advantageous for them as it could be. Little tips here and there that could make them so much more efficient. I love that seminar. We also just released a brand new one. Lyndon did it on smart lists. Ashley did the bootcamp webinar, and then Lyndon just recorded a smart list webinar. Lyndon's our in-house smart list expert. And so he just crushed a webinar. It's only 10 minutes. Nobody can really make an excuse for not finding 10 minutes to find. And you can play those in your team training. That's perfect. Now, what questions do y'all have?
That's so good. I love that. And really, if you haven't done this at all, leverage that material, for sure. And and that was the essence of it. And I just, the other thing was, always be sure you do what you say you're going to do. If you say, hey, I'm going to send out a link to this. What I used to do when I finally got to the point where we really had a strong agenda and we followed it, I would pre-write the email. And then if we talked about something different in the meeting, I could just add it. But hey, I've got the email sitting in my drafts. Like, oh, I need to add that one thing somebody asked about. But it would blow people's minds because I'd literally send it before I left the room. And they're like, oh, wow.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. We use templates a lot too, just for that. We'll template every follow-up email just to make it quicker.
And actually, I'm glad you brought that up. I want to lean into that a little bit. I think doing that in Follow Up Boss, make a smart, if you're an owner or an admin or whatever, make a smart list of your own agents, send a blast email with a template that's got like, hey, here's a link to Follow Up Boss's YouTube channel. Here's a link to Follow Up Boss Academy. Here's a link to, this webinar, or hey, there's office hours, don't want to plug us too hard, but hey, there's office hours next week. But just having that template ready to go so that you can easily after that session just say, hey, go. Right. So anything else to add kind of on the, I guess the format front, April?
No, I like the biggest thing I think is to have a plan. Right. You just want to be sure you've got some sort of format. It not only makes the meeting run smoother, but it makes it the people who come to the meeting feel like you took a minute to, this is legit. Like we need to sit down and listen because this isn't something you just kind of half threw together, you know?
Yeah, totally. That's great. I use this term a lot. I realize a lot of people don't know what it means. The Goldilocks zone. It's the, Goldilocks was the
I thought
too
you were
hot,
referring
too
to
cold.
me.
No, but you're in the Goldilocks zone, maybe. But your hair is different almost every time I see you, which is pretty cool. The Goldilocks
God.
zone is, not too hot, not too cold, but just right.
Yeah.
And my joke that I always made when I was doing this was I would always make my agenda, I would cut that in half, and then we'd get to half of that.
Yeah.
Just because, like,
That sounds yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be simple, right? Especially again, if you're just getting started. If you've already been doing this, maybe you're good, but if you're just getting started or looking to revamp your trainings, like, there's nothing more powerful than them walking away with strong knowledge on one specific thing that they can now do forever and ever, versus having all these things floating around in their brain and kind of being like, what did we just talk about?
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, it's gotta keep it simple, right?
Yeah. So we made this short kind of just sample agenda. I mean, again, it's not rocket science, but that's kind of the point, is that, and take a quick minute. I see too many people that start a meeting at 10 and are try to, like, come to order at 10 and go. I think building in a little pad for, I mean, I live in Atlanta. People are always late everywhere they go for traffic, but, like,
right,
build a little buffer to just, hey, how's it going? Be able to tell people good morning.
right. Yeah, just they probably haven't seen each other in a while, especially if you're doing an in-office meeting. Give them a chance to get the hellos and how you been's kind of out of their system, and that it's kind of harsh if you just like, all right, sit down, let's go.
Right, here we go. Totally. And it just, in that way also, you feel like you're on agenda, you're following the plan. It's not 10:05. If it's 10:05 and people aren't sitting down yet, you're okay.
Right, right.
And then kind of what we mentioned before, maybe like a 10:15 to 10:30, just overviewing. Hey, I'm going to demonstrate this for you, and then you're going to open your computers and we're going to have you do it. But
so good.
Saying that, saying that, and
like, don't even try yet. Yeah, we have enough time built into this that we're going to work on it together. But right now, just watch me, please, because you learn so much. I know a lot of people think, oh, I only watch by doing. It's true, but you learn so much more doing it if you've seen it at least once.
Right. Yeah. I love the way you said that. That's totally true. Like, it's not just doing as in pecking around to find, where is that?
Yeah.
Your admin email templates.
Yeah. Right.
But also,
you can hop around and find it.
Yeah, exactly. But then baking in time at the end to either specifically take questions or, if you're done early, great, dismiss. You don't have to stare at the clock until 11, but it bakes in that extra time for those specific questions. And there's nothing to build better culture than people intentionally staying after your meeting is adjourned to learn stuff. That's really powerful stuff.
Yeah. And to know that if they schedule an hour of their time, you valued their time, they value your time, you're going to finish on time. It's not going to be, oh, they're going to be running late to something because they're not really sure how long this is going to last. Like, we value people's time a lot at Follow Boss. If we schedule you a 45-minute call, we're going to end at 45 minutes. Even if you have a lot of questions, we'll try to stay on if we can for those questions, but we like to value everyone's time to make sure you know how long it's going to last and we know how long it's going to last, so you can plan your day. It's so important to kind of proactively know this is when this is going to end. So, you can kind of turn off, and I'm going to be learning for this amount of time. 20 minutes is a great amount of time. It's not too long, not too short. You don't feel like you got to check your phone every 2 seconds to see what you're missing in 20 minutes, Absolutely.
No, that's great. So simple. That's it. It's not a crazy long agenda. It's like, hey, create a couple of segments and then you're good to go. This link, and again, we're going to drop a link to this document, but we're following our own plan, right? We're showing you what we're going to do, and then we're going to give it to you to do it. But April has this great presentation. You guys are actually some of the first people outside of being on a call to get to see this, but there's a great presentation here that you guys actually use. Why don't you tell us what this is, April, and I'll scroll through it as you wish.
Yeah, this is actually brand new. We've just revamped our team trainings at Follow Boss. So going forward, I believe either starting this week or next week. I think this week might be like our beta testing week, but we've been working really hard over the past, I'd say month or so, to kind of revamp our team trainings, because we go off feedback, and what we do at the success team is we offer a team training to all of our teams that we're onboarding. And we found that we were just talking for 45 minutes at people, and we weren't feeling like there was a lot of back and forth, and we weren't sure how much people were absorbing. And a huge part of learning Follow Up Boss is getting a chance to do it after it's been demonstrated to you. We want you to be able to do that. So this is going to implement that a lot more. We're going to get a lot more back and forth conversation, a lot more hands-on experience, which we think in the long run will make agents more excited about Follow Up Boss and adopt it better, rather than just being talked at for 45 minutes. So this goes through the 5 most important things. The next slide there, we start with a couple questions just to kind of get you excited. And where we start is deals. We want to start on the deals pipeline and say, this is what's going to make you really successful. And you can see all your deals. Are you entering those in? Do you see the money there? And so that's like the why. Why are we doing this? To make you more money. Here's where you see that you're making more money. And then we just go over 5 ways to use Follow Up Boss to save you more time and make you more money. And then we go through these slides, just explain those 5 things. And really, they're just so easy, and this will make it a lot more simple for us to go through. And then we go over something, we show you how to do it on a slide, and then we do it with you. And then we'll talk about a new thing, and then we'll show you how to do it, and then we'll do it with you. And so we think this team training will also, just like we're doing now, you can do this in your own team trainings as well. Yeah, maybe we did it for you when you first got Follow Up Boss, but maybe a year later you want to do it again. So now you have the resource as well, which I think is so valuable.
Yeah, what occurs to me in that, April, is actually doing this full thing, whether it's with you guys or internally, and then picking maybe 1 or 2 slides to do in each of those sessions. And so this really is your outline, to be able to go through a couple of quick topics and,
no, I think that's a great idea. Yeah, absolutely. And this goes over just the 5 ways to be successful in Follow Up Boss. We try to keep it simple because really, like we said, to be successful in it does a lot, but to be successful at it, it's really simple. You don't have to know everything Follow Up Boss does to be successful at it. And that's really what we want to get across to your teams, is that yes, learning a new CRM can be very overwhelming. But if you're just logging communication, changing stages, making those smart lists work, you're going to be successful. And here's how the app works, because we know you're on the go a lot. And here's how to find helpful resources for questions after. So we think that this is going to be such a beneficial change to our team trainings. So we're happy to share this with everybody.
Awesome. So that's linked in the doc, which again, we'll drop a link to here in just a little bit. A couple of additional tips on that is, obviously, if you're looking at onboarding, I'm a big fan of kind of what we just talked about, going a lot deeper there. And then these trainings are more the things that have changed or just things you see in the system that are lacking. Like, hey, people aren't making calls. Why aren't they making calls? They don't know who to call. Okay, we need some smart lists that show them who they need to call. And oh, by the way, if you click this, it's a call list. If you click on this, you can, just tackling those things.
Yeah. And just the smart list, of course, is such a foundation of everything. But from there, once you feel comfortable with what smart lists are and what they do, then we can slowly build on that. And that's where you can do, is everyone on the same page in a team training? So next week, we're going to dive into batch emails. The next week, we might show you how to do that calling list. So it's just, you can build onto it so it's not overwhelming for your team. Like Lee said, you don't want to go in and just blast them with every slide on that page in one, 20-minute meeting. Like when you're demoing it for them and having them do it, that's just overwhelming. You're going to lose people. We got to keep it baby steps, chunks.
Right. We're not just here to check a box. We're not just like, oh, training.
Exactly.
Okay, training. It's done.
Exactly. Right.
See if I can fix that real quick. All right, good. It did. And then below that, we just have some tips on overall strategy. And I don't think, April, we don't need to go through all of these. But, just a lot of this is kind of what we already talked about, is just the idea of, not giving too much information, giving clear direction, reinforcing it, explaining why people are doing stuff, not just telling them. The why is
huge.
You've got to do this.
Yeah, I love that. Because
I told you is not the why.
Right. I I got to know what is in this for me, right?
Right.
What is taking the time to learn this gonna do for me? That's what we need to get agents excited about in team trainings.
Exactly. Exactly. So, and then the idea that, as great as it is to get this right, even once you get it right, you still have to kind of keep your eye
To
on the
do it again.
ball. Subjects
Mhm.
change, you add more agents, you get bigger, you get smaller. It's you're always
Mhm.
improving or
Your team
tweaking.
improves, you improve, you get more efficient, your team gets more efficient, follow-up boss gets better, something that you knew got better. So it's you always got to keep like this says, reevaluating, refining, enhancing your skills. That's what makes us more and more efficient. So we have more time to close more deals.
For sure. So, and at the very end, and I'll drop this link in just a second. At the very end, we've got just a quick list of some resources. We're linked here to Follow Up Boss Academy, which is now where Follow Up Boss 101 is. So once again,
Mhm.
if you want some turnkey training, all your agents should take Follow Up Boss
Gosh, yeah,
101 first.
absolutely, yeah.
And then Conversion U is there now, which is Dale Archdeacon sales training. It's an unbelievable
Mhm.
amount of
Yeah,
stuff that's
so
free
many
to all.
modules. Yeah, and it gears toward different people, agents, ISAs, objection handling. Like it's, I mean, it's really expensive training that you get for free with Fault Boss. And I want everyone to know that's there and their question mark there when they go in their Fault Boss accounts, free to everybody. Yes, Becky, Conversion U does rock.
It does rock. Indeed.
Yes.
Second that. And so the link April mentioned before, the 20-minute boot camp, and then Lyndon's
Hmm.
smart list is linked, as well as the Follow Up Boss YouTube channel, our channel,
Hmm.
Smart
Yeah.
Inside Sales, which is Dale's channel, and then also a link to a free Follow Up Boss assessment from our company, where we dig into your account, give
Nice.
you give you a score, let you know how it's running. So
I
I'll
like
drop the
that. That's great.
I'll drop the link to this doc, but and we're happy to tackle some questions if you guys want to throw anything in the Q&A. We're happy to answer some questions. But April, like if somebody was coming to this with I've never done this, like what would be your advice to them?
They've never done a team training.
Yeah, like how do you
Well,
get
first,
started doing this? Or if you've done this a little
yeah.
bit, but not really intentionally, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I would definitely follow our advice. But I would think first and foremost, make an outline. No, if you don't make a plan, what is it? If you fail to plan, you plan to
Yeah,
fail.
you plan to
So
fail.
you've definitely, yeah, you've got to make a plan. And I love the outline. I would always make an outline as well with the times and just know basically what you're going to accomplish in that time, that precious time that you've got everyone together. You just need to make sure you've taken the time to plan that training out. So it is obviously most productive, that your team feels like they got something out of it, that it wasn't thrown together, but mainly just taking a little time to make it efficient and effective and valuable for everyone's time. But starting with a plan for sure.
Cool. I'm dropping the link in the Facebook group as well. As far as quick housekeeping too, this recording as always lives on in the Facebook group because it's streamed live there. They also show up on YouTube. There's an office hours playlist if you want to check that out. And they generally come out in the Friday emails that come from Allison or Andrew.
Hmm.
So good stuff there. But yeah, that's a great point, April, that yeah, just doing it and having a plan to do it. I always say you don't even need a good plan, you just need a plan. It
Right,
really isn't
exactly.
about, having this amazing grandiose plan. It's about setting aside time and showing up with at least like a topic.
Yeah. I'll see if I can. I thought I made that link available to everybody. Let's see if I can make it more available to everyone because some people
Yeah,
are saying that they're
it did say view only. Everybody.
yeah, I thought so
Um,
too. Did you let's make sure. Let's see here, go into the chat. Huh. Oh, what is huh. Oh, that's the Google Docs they're talking about, right? Is that the team training or is that the Google Docs you just I think that I'm not sure which one that is. We'll have to dive into that after our meeting.
yeah, I'll fix that. Actually, it is
Okay.
not. Yeah, I got too many screens happening here.
Oh, thanks, Tiffany. I'm dying.
Anyone? There we go. Let's try that now.
Just
Anyone
ask.
with a link? Somebody give us some feedback if that's now openable.
Open sesame.
Is that a word? Openable?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Accessible
Oh, good.
would probably be the right word.
Perfect. Good. Yeah, there's some great resources in those documents we're handing out today. So please be sure to bookmark those. It's a word now, Bridget said.
Yeah, exactly. Never dull around here. So all right, perfect. I'm trying to see if there are any questions. I'm in like 4 different screens. I've got the Facebook group open. I got Zoom going here. I don't see any questions. So and Becky, let's see if here I'll drop a link back to that. And actually I'll copy your email real quick and make sure you get that. So and again, I'll post this in the Facebook group as well, just so it's super accessible, make sure everybody has access to it. But I think, April, do you have anything else to add or just high level stuff to share?
I am going to just plug the Follow Boss dialers because I feel like I should. It's such a great way to get agent adoption. So anyone watching, anyone listening later, it really does help for your agents to be able to log that communication directly in Follow Boss. So while it's not directly related to how to run a team training, if you find your team struggling with agent adoption during your team trainings and you don't have that Follow Boss dialer, that really does help alleviate those roadblocks that can come with if you're calling on your phone, having to go back and log it. So, and then you find a breakdown in your smart lists. And when your smart lists don't work, then you find that they aren't using Follow Boss like they should. So that's really what I want to be sure that y'all talk about in your team trainings too. A lot of realtors will call me and say, why is my team not using Follow Boss? And it's either they're not logging their communication because they're not using the Follow Boss numbers, they're doing it on their cell phone, personal cell phone numbers, or they're not changing their stages. And if you're not doing those 2 things, your Follow-Up Boss is just kind of a mishmash. You don't know who anyone is to you. And so you can't efficiently use it and you can't efficiently use your smart lists. So I always recommend focusing on those 2 basic things in all your team trainings.
Yeah, that's great advice. I think we'll wrap with that. But April, thank you so much for being on. This is great stuff.
Absolutely.
And we'll do it again sometime.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me, Lee. It was awesome.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see y'all soon.